Yep. Good morning, everyone. So last session, we started discussing about statements, conditional statements, selection statements. In selection statements, we discussed about if select, how to use if select. In that, various forms are there. We learned about how to use a forward jump, and we know simple decision. Two things we learned. Forward jump is there is no alternative. If condition satisfied, then only it will continue. Simple decision, there will be an alternative, right? One condition satisfied, true, and if condition not satisfied, false. Another statement, if and else. Now another important, so we have multi-level decision. Multi-level decisions. Multi-level decisions are nothing but actually why you need multi-level decisions. In lot of situations, we cannot write multiple conditions. For example, so I will show you one requirement here. So let's create a page. So in this page, we want some login details. We can use this payment. Okay. I will create a simple page called login. I'm creating some login.html. In this login HTML, we are adding a login screen with the username and password. So we have input type is text and password and input type password. So we are writing conditions. Here what we want to do is on login click, it should verify username and password. In the script, so we will write user details. User details is an object which contains username. Username is some John_NIT and password. Password is John@123. Now when user clicks login button, so function login click. On login click, here on click is login click. And here we have two text boxes, ID as txt name and another one is txt password, pwd. Now what is the point is, when login clicks, we have to collect username, document get element by ID, txt name dot value, and password, document get element by ID, txt pwd dot value. So username and password collected. Username and password both must match. If they are not matching, show error. Right? Now the question, how do you write the logic? Both should match. Then we will write the logic like if username is matching, identical equal, matching with user details dot username. It should match. What else should match? Password also should match. So how do you write? And what is it? Password. Password is matching with user details dot what? Password. This is not recommended. We don't recommend this every time. Why? Because if both are matching, we will put a message document.write login success. If not matching, what I have to display? Document.write invalid what? Username invalid, password invalid. That means now you cannot display a message invalid username or password. Username invalid, password invalid. You need to be specific. So if you want to report a specific error, then you should never write multiple conditions in one line. This is not good. It is okay if all conditions have to return same message. If all conditions have to return same message, so then this is okay. But what invalid will you write here? Is invalid password or is invalid username? Right? You cannot say that simply invalid username or password, because user should know correctly where he went wrong. Right? Suppose, see the previous example. Is card wrong or CVV wrong, expiry wrong? Which one wrong? You have to repeat. If you write all in one line, then you can just put a message invalid. Which one invalid is not clear. That you can manage by using. How to manage this? Here, one more point is that. One more point is, even user enter password, don't verify password. First verify user ID. If that is success, then verify password. That means, what is the situation now? Multi-level decisions are nothing but multi-level decision means technically. So in this approach, multi-level decision means in this approach, developer can test, developer will test only one condition. Will test only one condition. Only one condition. So, and defines. So multi-level conditions, and defines multi-level conditions to verify multiple values. Verify multiple values. So it is not recommended to write all conditions in one line. If there are many status messages to display. If there are many status messages to display, then it is not recommended to write all conditions in one line. So that means syntactically how you write. We will write if condition 1. If this condition 1 is successful, if not successful, we will write here else. In this else, we will define statement if condition 1 false. If condition 1 is true, then what we will do? We will check another condition. Condition 2. So here we will write else, and here we will define statement. So statement if condition 2 is false. If condition 2 is also true, then you can write another condition like that. Or here you can define statement when all conditions evaluate evaluate to true. That means now here it is working in two ways. It is using forward only, and it is using clear status message for every error. That means if you have to verify multiple values, and for every value there must be a separate message to display, then you have to follow this approach, right? This is the best approach for that. Now here observe, now I am giving that here. This is not the right way. I will do one thing. So here I will put a paragraph. So align center. Okay, center. Now I want to display message here. We will write a condition if username is matching with user details dot username. If username is matching with user details username, what to do we will decide. If not matching, then we will collect the paragraph. So where some error is nothing but document dot get element by get query selector. Document dot query selector, we will call that paragraph. And here, if not error dot inner HTML, we should display invalid what? Username. So we will just put here font color as red. And if username is matching, then verify password is matching with user details dot password. Use comparison always triple equal to strictly compare, so that data type comparison also will be same. Okay, that is good. Okay, next important, if this is wrong, that means if password is wrong, not matching, what should be the error message? Error dot inner HTML. It should display what? Invalid password. Font color as red. If this is also matching, then document dot write, we will say login success. This message should come. This is called multi-level decision. So when to use multi-level decision? If there are many conditions to check and there is an order for checking the conditions, means first username, then password. Then another point, if you want a clean separate message for every condition to display, then you go with multi-level. So what are the situations? More than one condition is there. There is an order for checking the conditions, and there are different messages for every condition to display. If these three are the requirements, then use this technique. Now here what happens, you see, I am entering. So let's run this and see. When you run this here, I am entering the password. Here, I am entering wrong password, but it will not verify password. It will first verify username. That means even you enter the password, it is not going to verify. So you entered username and submit invalid. Why? Because username is John_NID. Now I log in. Now it will say invalid password. So it will not verify password until username is correct. So forward jump is achieved and clean message for every problem where the problem occurred. Now password is correct. That means John@123. and click login, then login success. This approach is called as what? Multi-level decisions. So when to use the multi-level decisions? So summary about this is, if many conditions are many conditions need to check. So if many conditions are available for test, and second, there is an order for testing conditions. There is an order for testing conditions, and so how to display. So individual error messages. Then you can go with this technique. If many conditions are available for testing, there is order for testing the conditions, and we have to display individual error messages for every condition. Then better go with this approach. This is what we call as multiple. So multi-level decisions. This is example for that. So you have simple decision and we have multi-level decisions. There is another option. We have another important concept. Another option is multiple choices. Multiple decisions, multiple choices are there. Multiple choices means for a specific work, you can provide 2 choices or 3 choices. To handle a specific task, there are 2 ways. User can choose any way. And which way he chosen, that should execute and it should remember that. That means there are 2 choices for user. User can choose any one. And which one user chosen, that should continue for next. It's not necessary that user have to choose both. User can choose any one and it should continue with that one. For example, what does this means multiple choice? For example, how to log in into any website? Usually what they ask to log in into any website: username, password. Instead of username, phone number, mobile number. Instead of mobile number, email ID. So we need to provide a choice. User can log in with mobile or user can log in with email. If user logs in with mobile, we will send an OTP to mobile. If user sends a login with email, we will send a message to email. Now, 2 choices. User will choose any one, and which one user chosen, that should continue. How you'll write logic for that? So for example, you see Amazon. In this Amazon, you have sign in. This is Amazon sign in. It is saying email or mobile. 2 choices are there. And when they entered email and continue, then it will verify email. After that, it will ask password. And if password also successful, then they will send a activation email. Suppose you think like it is sign in with 2-step verification. Then what they will do, they will send an email to your email saying that this is the OTP for login. Suppose you entered phone number, then we will ignore email, and in the next step we will send OTP to mobile. That means two choices are there. Which one he's chosen, we have to remember. After that, we have to use at the end. Because after this step, what is the next step? After this step, next step is password. After password, I have to get the first one. Which one he used? Email with password, mobile with password. Then that you have to use at the end. So there are so many choices. User can choose any one. How do we handle that? How we can manage that? Usually multiple choices means it is a decision making. It's a decision making approach where we provide multiple choices for handling a specific task. That means user can choose any one out of multiple choices. User can choose any one out of multiple choices. So what it should happen is it must continue with the selected choice. It must continue with the selected choice. And that you can do by using multiple choice. How you write multiple choice? Syntax will be like this. If we have condition 1, or you say this is choice 1. If choice 1 is matching, then statement on choice 1. Otherwise, else. Again, if choice 2, this is second choice. Here it will have statement on choice 2. Second choice, what statement? Like this, you can add any number of choices. Else if choice 3. And if choice 3 is satisfying, statement on choice 3. If not matching with any of these choices, then else. Statement when it is not among the given choices. This is what else. This is called multiple choices. Previously, that is called nested conditions. People call them nested conditions. Or sometimes people also call as ladder if. Ladder if means first condition, under that first condition, second condition, under second condition, third. They call that as ladder if, right? But this is multiple choice. Let's implement this with Amazon like example. Let's see how we can create this multiple choice, how we can handle that. Let's create this example. We will try to create. I will add here. So as Amazon login. Okay. I am linking here some style sheets. Style sheet href from node modules, bootstrap, and dist css bootstrap.css. We are adding this one. Now we have class container fluid. Okay, next here, what we need to do. Now in this, we have to design two containers. I will use a div here. I will put class as dflex, justify content center, align items center. Okay, and height style, and height I given as some 500 pixel. Okay. Now in this we will create a div. In this we will create another div. This I will put class as ID. I will put ID as this is user container. I will keep another div. This ID is password container. User container, password container. Password container by default display will be none. It will not show. User container will be shown. In this user container, so we will say user login. User say sign in. So here we will put here suppose heading. Yeah. Heading above I will just keep as sign in. Heading as sign in. Like this I define. Now in this user container, we will put a label, class as form label, and here we will put font weight as bold. And here I'll say email or mobile phone number. That's the message. Below, we will keep a text box. Input type is equal to text. So ID is txt ID. Txt user ID. User ID can be email or mobile. Okay, class as form control. And below that, we will put a div. In this class as text danger. ID as user error. Okay, this is after this, below this, we will keep, this is one container. Yeah. This is one div. In this, we will put class margin bottom as 3. Below the div, another div. Here we have a button, continue. So class is btn and btn warning and w100. And you can see that is what we need to display. This is what we are displaying. So we have a sign in, email or mobile phone number, and continue. So when user enters, we will design password also. That means here we will keep a div. So class margin bottom as 3. And here we have a label, class form label, and font weight as bold. This is password. And below that, input type is equal to text. Input type is password. ID as txt pwd, password. Class form control. And below that, a div. ID as pwd error. So class as text danger. And below this, we put another div. In that, we put a button, login. So class btn and btn warning and w100. Okay. But that password container is not shown. So here, when user enters the username and clicks on continue, it should verify username. Username can be email or mobile. It should verify, is it matching? If it is matching, then store it in memory. Because we should not use it immediately. Next step, what we have to check? Password. After checking the password, this information must be collected. Which one he used? Email used or phone number used? So what we will do for this is, first, here we are maintaining data. Actually, this is in the design. Yeah. Here we will use class W50. It will be like this. That is 50 is too much, 25 fine. Now it is okay. Now what should happen when user enters email and click continue? We should verify. So we will maintain data here. Script. The data is nothing but var user details. In this user details object, you can bring it from anywhere. Temporarily, I am keeping here. If you want to bring from JSON file and verify here, then what you do? Later we will see that API also. If you have to do that, maintain a JSON file, use fetch method. By using fetch method, access it and verify. You can do anything. Okay, so let's do like that. What we will do in that project, in data folder, I will maintain a folder called user.json. In that user JSON, we will maintain user ID. User ID, it is not user ID, it is what? Email. Email, I am just giving John, so some john11@gmail.com. And second, I am using mobile. Mobile is suppose so +91 9876543210. Right? It should match with that. Okay, next. Another one is password. User have these details. Currently, we are using only one user. Later, we will use multiple users. For that, we need to learn loops, iterations. So here, password is John@123. So with these details only, he can log in. So we will write a logic here now. The logic function login click. On login click, it should fire up when not login click, it is continue click. First thing, first one is continue click, because two buttons are there. One button is continue, another button is what? Login button. So continue button is to verify username. So here we have to verify username. How to verify the username? We have to use fetch. So we will use fetch from /data/user.json. Then it uses a callback function response return response.json and then so a callback function get the user details and we need to verify. What is the verification? So we have to collect username first, where user ID is equal to document.getElement by ID txt user ID dot what? Value. It can be email or it can be mobile. Okay, next I have to define here another one is user error. User error document get element by ID user error. User error is nothing but it is a div. Next we have a flag. Flag is empty. This flag remembers which mobile or which email you entered, so that it will use it at the end. And very important, this flag should be used after login. currently you are writing in continue click, na? But it should be accessible in login click. Then you have to make it as what? Global variable. You have to make it as global variable. Now we will see here. What is that? So write the condition. Condition is you have to verify user ID. So we will write if user ID entered in text box is matching with user.email user email, then what should happen? In flag, we will put a message. In flag, what is the message? So login success, and OTP sent as a verification code sent to your registered email, and that email is whatever user ID they entered. That is the message we will store. If here second choice is there, they may enter mobile, na? Then choice, else if another choice. If the choice user ID is matching with user dot what? Mobile. If it is matching with mobile, then what should be flag? Login success and OTP sent to registered mobile, and that mobile number. That is nothing but user ID. So that means you are giving choice. User can enter with email or user can enter with mobile. If not matching with both, else it is not email correctly matching, mobile correctly matching, then user error dot inner HTML, it should display what it is? Invalid. Invalid, what they entered, we can say email or we can say mobile. You can write another condition inside it if you want. Understood? So we will do the such things also later. I will say invalid user ID. So please, so or we will put simply. So we will put simply more better messages. We will put here email. What is it? User ID. User ID. So doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. This looks more better. That means email doesn't exist or mobile doesn't exist. Then we can clearly display what they entered. And that doesn't exist. That looks more better, right? This is multiple choice. Okay. If user name is matching or user mobile is matching, then what should happen? We will get two containers. One is user container. We have user container document dot what? Get element by ID. What is it? User container. Another one, we will have password container. Password container document dot get element by ID. Password container. So password container. Okay. Now what should happen when username is success? Means email is correct. Then what should happen? User container dot style dot display should be none. And password container dot style dot display should be block. The same thing should happen on matching with mobile, right? If you have to write such conditions again and again, you can better put in a function and you can display the function, right? So we will write, suppose how we can write, suppose you can write a function say toggle containers. Okay, in this toggle containers function, we will keep these two lines. These two lines we will keep there, toggle containers. Now what we do on email success, we will call toggle containers. On mobile success also we will call toggle containers. That is better, right? After that it will display user error, right? Now they will go to which one? Password. This is continue click na. You have to write another one. What you have to write? For login click you have to write. So on click is what? Login click. So continue click, here on click is what? Continue click. So let's write login click. Another function, login click. Okay. On login click, this time we have to get password. Document dot get element by ID txt what? Password dot value. Is that password having that? You can see txt pwd. Password value. Okay, we have to verify if password is matching with user password. You need to call it again. That means we have to use what? Fetch. This also you can put in a function now if you want. So fetch, from where we have to do data dot user dot json dot then a callback function response return response dot json dot then. So function, this is user, and here we have to verify if user dot password is matching with the password we entered. If password is matching, then we will put document dot write login success. This message will not login success. We will put flag message. In flag we stored a message na. They successfully entered email or mobile. That flag message we will display. That means here we are going to display some heading style. So in heading style, we will put the flag. So this flag is captured when they successfully entered email and password. Otherwise, what should happen? Document dot get element by ID, password error, pwd error, inner HTML. It should display what it is. Invalid password. That is the password error which should display. Okay, now this is the functionality. Here we need to define. I am entering the user ID. User ID is suppose John 1234 and continue. It says John 1234 doesn't exist. So John 11@gmail.com. That is email I entered. Continue. Now it is asking password. Now password I entered something wrong. Invalid password. Password I need to enter correctly. Suppose John @1 2 login. It is 11 login. So it is which one? John @123. Yeah, okay. So John @123 password. Then click on login. Now login success. And verification sent to your registered email. Why? Because they logged in with email. They logged in with email. Suppose I am entering here mobile number. plus 91 and 98765432 it says doesn't exist. 3210, that is number correct. Then it will ask password. Password is same, John@12. It is error. It is 123. Then it will display login with mobile. That means you are giving a choice. User can choose any one of these two. That means user can choose the first one or the second one. That means if you have multiple choices to do the same thing, then you have to define that by using else if. Else if. These are called multiple choices. So this is an example for two kinds: multi-level conditions, another one multiple choice. This is example for that Amazon login. So for that, what I done is actually user JSON file first. So in data folder, user.json, this kept, right? And we have HTML, some login.html. Let me copy the HTML code. This is the complete HTML code we implement. This is for verifying and handling multiple choice. So in decision making, we have simple decision, forward jump. We have simple decision. We have multiple decisions and multiple choice. Now here, suppose I will give you some tasks here. We will see. I will give you some exercise. Tomorrow, I will give you some practical test. Tomorrow, I will give a practical test on conditional statements. In the class, I will give you some program tasks. You have to write that program and show me in the class itself. Understood? So that is completely on decision making. On decision making, I will give you some programs which are regularly asked in companies to test your logical skills. Simple things. First, I will give basic level. Then we will go intermediate and complex level. Right? So tomorrow we'll do that. Tomorrow, entire session will be practical program tests on decision making. Now here, let's see this concept now. Here, in decision making, here we have some problem. In multiple conditions have problem. What is problem with multiple choices? Let's see what is the problem with multiple choice and how to handle that problem. That means we have multiple choices. .html. Here I'm writing a simple script in that var number n is equal to parse int, and we say prompt enter number. We are taking a number. If n is equal to 1, we will print document.write 1. Else if, another choice, if n is equal to 2, then document.write, we will print 2. Like this I am writing. This is second condition. This is another condition. So this is else if, right? We have another else if n is equal to 3. Then document.write 3. Else if n is equal to 4. So document.write. Okay. So document.write. So we are giving document.write as 4. So else we will put document.write. Please enter from please enter value between 1 to 4. Like this we are defined. Now let's run this and see. I will show you the point here. I will run this, enter number 1, it will print 1. I entered number 1, it is printing 1. Okay, it is printing 1. That's okay. Let's go to inspect. Inspect opens developer tools. In this developer tools means you right click in the page and inspect, developer tools will come. In this developer tools, go to here sources. There will be a tab called sources. Go to that sources tab, that option. Okay. When I select sources, it will show the program here. This is multiple choice HTML. This is our page. Multiple choice HTML. That is our page. Now double click and open this page. This is the code. In that code, line numbers are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 21 lines code is there. Now in this actually, so you can see here. So at any line number, you click, it will put a breakpoint. That is breakpoint. Breakpoint purpose is you can pause the compiling there. And as a developer, after pausing compiling at that line, you can verify each and every line from there. What is happening? What result is coming? How it is proceeding? Everything we can verify through this breakpoint. So put a breakpoint. You can put multiple breakpoints. I will put only one breakpoint at line number 3. That means after taking input from you, before going into condition, it will pause so that developer can track each and every phase. Now, every line from there you can verify. So you click one more time, that will be removed. Right? So click at line number 3, breakpoint set. Okay. After setting breakpoint, once refresh the page. Means reload the page to run it. Now output is empty. And it is asking number. I will enter the number as 3. I entered number as 3. So I entered number as 4. Right? I say OK. When I say OK, now the breakpoint comes here. You see it is saying paused at breakpoint. Okay. What it have done here, observe carefully. Here n value, you entered n value. It says n is 4. You can see that n is 4. That n is 4. That means 4 is equal to 1. Is it verifying? 4 equal to 1. That means the first condition it is verifying. N is 4 and it is verifying is 4 equal to 1. After verifying, you want to see currently cursor is here. You click this button. This is next step. This is next step. Go to next step from here. You see still output is not there now because compiling stopped. Click the next step button. Next step. When you click next step, is first condition matching? 4 is equal to 1. Is it matching? No. Then click on step over. It will go to second condition. Is it checking? Is 4 matching with 2? This is also not matching. Step over. Then it will go to third condition. It is checking is 4 matching with 3. You go to step over. That's also not matching. It will go to step 4. Fourth condition is matching. If it is matching, now it will enter into that statement. It will execute this. What is that? Execute document.write 4. After that, next step. Then it will come out. And you can see it comes out of the script now. It comes out of that function. And see, by the time it printed here. So after that, you just click this button. That means it will finish your processing. Now what you observed here, which condition is matching? Fourth condition is matching. Which one it verified? All. If there are 20 conditions and 19th is matching, it will check all 18. That is a lot of time waste. Why you are checking all the conditions if it is matching with any specific? This is the problem with multiple decisions. So if there are multiple choices, suppose you given username, password, you are verifying password, but without verifying username, it will not verify password. You are verifying email, you are verifying mobile. User entered mobile. Directly it will not verify mobile. First it will verify email. After that it will verify mobile. Why unnecessarily you are verifying? That is lot of time consuming process. We need to avoid this. That means if there are many choices, then for every choice, if it have to verify, then it will take time. This is the problem that we face with multiple decisions. That means even to check a specific condition, it has to verify all of them. That is the problem. That is the issue here. That means here the question, what is issue? Issue with multiple choices. The answer is, so compiler cannot choose directly the condition which is matching. It have to verify all conditions. It have to verify all conditions. All conditions. So until the specified is true. That means once the specified is true, will it continue others? No. That is okay. Suppose if it is matching with 2, it will check the first one. It will check the second. After second, will it check third and fourth? No. Automatically it can come out. That is very good. But until that moment, it will check. That is bad. What is advantage is once the condition is matching, then it will not continue with others. It can simply skip. But this is the issue. Now, how do we solve this issue? We do that by using switch selector. The solution for this is switch selector. What is the purpose of switch selector? It is also decision making, but it can choose exactly only which one is matching, and it will not touch others. Actually, why it is called switch? What is the meaning of a switch? What is the purpose of a switch? Switch, electronics switch. So, purpose of switch. See, in computer programming, all the terms are electronic terms only. because computer is an electronic device, and to communicate, to control it, all electronics features only used. So in computer programming, all are electronic related statements, means terms and all, majority. Now, what is this meaning of switch? What is a switch in electronics? Usually a switch in electronics is used to control, to interrupt the flow of electrons. That is the definition. A switch in electronics is used to interrupt the flow of electrons. That means electrons are flowing in an order. A switch can interrupt. It can control when to continue, when to stop. Actually, there are various types of switches like push button switch, like toggle switch, like joystick switch, like selector switch. There are so many types of hundreds of switches are there. In electronics, hundreds of switches are there. So that means different types of switches are available. I will tell you a simple point here. For example, one small example, let me show you. Suppose we have, this is some, okay. So this is, the execution flow. That means usually how the execution flow works, right? So I will copy this one. Actually, what happens is the execution flow. Suppose this is the execution flow. Generally, what happens is these are the options we have. Now, usually this is the execution. That means this is the statement. This is actually switches. The switch looks like this. Usually switch look like this. This is a switch. This is a switch. Now what happens is when you hold down, then it will continue the flow from left to right. When you release, it will stop. Until you hold down, it will be working. Once you release, it will stop. This is called push button. For example, in mouse, you are dragging. Then until you hold down and drag, it is working. Once you release, it will stop. For example, you have calling bell. Until you hold down, the bell is ringing. You lift, it stops. That is what push button switch. Suppose there will be toggle switch. Toggle switch will be like this. This is a toggle switch. Toggle switch will be like this. What is a toggle switch is nothing but you push, it will be continuing. Again push, it will stop. Once push to on, again push to off. Your power buttons, laptop buttons, mobile power buttons, all are push button. Once press on, again press off. Same button is used for on and off. These are called what? Toggle switches. Selector switch will be like this. This is a selector switch. Usually a selector switch will be like this. So a selector switch will be like this. This is a selector switch. Usually selector switch will be in this way. Means you push down, this will continue. You push up, this will continue. Out of these two, only one is continuing. And once one is continuing, other is not touched. This is called selector. This is called selector switch. Once one is continuing, another will not work. That means without touching others, it can execute. This is called selector switch. And usually these choices are called as, these choices, we have two choices here. These choices are called as, this choice we generally call as case. This is case 2. That means we have two cases. Case 1, another one is case 2. Case 2. And this is called switch. Switch selects which case you want. And once it is executing a case, other cases are not touched. That means it can exactly choose what it wants. This is called selector switch. That is what in our computer program also, we have a selection statement switch. It's called as selector switch. What is the specialty of this? Let's see. How do we write selector switch? That means a selector switch can choose exactly the statement that matches given condition. So it will not execute the other blocks of statements. So this is what selector switch is. Usually syntactically it will be like this. We have a switch. Into that we pass a value, and if we will write case, if the value is matching with, so here we give value, if it is matching with value 1, then colon, what statement to perform. After that it should stop, then break. That means actually this is called jump. Jump statement we have to use. After that you can write case. If value 2 is matching, then what is the statement? Then you have to jump. Like this we can write. There is another default. Default means statement if so any value is not matching, then it will use jump statement. This is how we write. Now let's write the same conditions, same thing with switch. I am removing if. You saw the problem in if. Now we will use a switch. Into the switch we will pass n. If case is 1, then document.write, it will print 1. So, and after that break will stop. So if case is 2, then what should happen? Document.write 2, then break. If case is 3, then document.write, so 3, then break. So case 4, document.write, so 4, then break, then stop. Lot of questions are there, I will tell you about this switch. So many FAQs are there, I will discuss about them. Default and document.write. So in document.write, so please enter 1, 2, 4 only, like this. So, and we will put a break. Now let's see here. So let's see here. again same point. I will run here 1. It will print 1. Let's go to inspect. In the inspect, go to source. In the source, this time puts at the same number 3, breakpoint at 3. Okay. Now let's refresh the page. It is asking enter number. I entered 4. Okay. You see it comes to switch. Into that n value is passed as 4. Now click on step over, next step. In the next step, directly it goes to 4. It is not touching 1, 2, 3. Previously what happened? It checks condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. Here it is going to directly check this. And after that, step over, it will finish. And you can see it is printed at the top. So it will execute exactly the condition that is matching. And it will stop. This is actually switch. If there are many conditions and out of that one have to execute, then you can use this approach. This is switch. Right now, where it is used in real world environment, we will see some example how to handle that. Right, where it is used, how it is used, we will see. Right. So first we will check all the selection statement related some programs. Then we will go into the example on switch that we'll see tomorrow. Right, tomorrow we will learn. We will do all programming test. That is a test for you tomorrow. On conditional statements, I will give you some programs which you have to solve live in class. Okay, now you have to submit those programs. Tomorrow we'll continue with that. Okay. So how questions are asked on conditional statements in interviews? Practically what questions like they give. Such things we will discuss. Right. Tomorrow we'll see.